is a shocking story out of Saudi Arabia. An 8-year-old girl arranged to marry a 47-year-old man, and the annulment was just denied. It's one of the most popular stories on CNN.com right now, and the CNN international producer who contributed to this reporting joins us live from the newsroom. Mohammed Jamjoon, this is incredible, and it's also causing shockwaves not only in the United States, but also in the Arab world.
That's one of the more interesting aspects of this story, is that obviously the West would be shocked at this sort of thing, but in Saudi Arabia there's really been an outcry in the past few days. You're seeing this being written about in Arabic language media in Saudi Arabia. Typically when there is some sort of verdict that's issued that is controversial, you're not seeing that in the Arab language media. You're seeing it only in the English language media in Saudi Arabia. And the fact that it's gathered so much steam, people are talking about it, they're really appalled. And this is only the latest in a sequence of several cases like this that has caused really public outcry and government outcry as well.
We've seen more and more of this type of thing. Young girls marrying much older men. We saw a case of an 11-year-old, a 16-year-old marrying men in their 70s. But what happened over the weekend? Because some people say that you can marry in Saudi when you reach puberty. Some say when you reach 18. This girl was 8 years old, so she's not even at puberty yet.
It's a very sad story, and let me try to give you some background. We spoke to the lawyer of the girl's mother, rather. His name is Abdullah Judaili, and he's based in Unayza, which is a very conservative city in the heart of Saudi Arabia. They found out that this girl had been married off by her father. She's an 8-year-old girl, and she'd been married off by her father to a friend of his, actually.
And the mother filed the petition.
The mother filed the petition once she found out that the girl had been married off, without the mother's consent, without the girl's consent. This is an 8-year-old girl to a 47-year-old man. Right?
But the mother couldn't do anything.
The mother couldn't do anything about it. She went to court. She actually filed a petition to get her daughter divorced. She kept the daughter with her, did not let the daughter go and live with the husband, obviously. And the judge came out with a ruling in which he didn't really condemn what had happened. What he did is sort of issued a ruling based on a technicality. The judge, according to the lawyer, stated that the mother did not have the right to file this petition because she was not the legal guardian of the girl. The father's the legal guardian. And so then the judge said that the marriage could not be annulled. But he said the girl could come and file a petition to get divorced only when she reached puberty. So it's a real catch-22 kind of situation.
It's a real catch-22. So they're asked not to consummate the relationship. There's no indication that that's actually going to happen. But why is this type of thing still going on in the Saudi government? Why, even after human rights groups have come out against this, why do we still see these cases even now?
Yeah. Well, you know, one thing that happened in the past few months, as I said, there were even cases in Yemen where this happened and that caused international outrage and outcry. But one of the things that's happened is there's a human rights body in Saudi Arabia that is affiliated with the government, and they've come out strongly condemning these child marriages. I mean, people in Saudi Arabia realize that this gives a huge black eye public relations wise to Saudi Arabia. I mean, whether they agree with it or not, they realize this does not look good for Saudi Arabia. People in the government have been coming out strongly condemning it, whereas maybe they didn't before. And in fact, the Human Rights Commission in Saudi Arabia, their spokesman told me that they actually interceded on behalf of a girl who was going to be forcibly married to I believe the girl was 10 and the man was 60. And they actually found out that this was going to happen in a city called Ha'il, and they went and they wrote to the governor of the province and the head of the courts, and they basically prevented this marriage from happening. So what you're seeing now is preventative steps, because they don't want this to happen, and obviously they don't want these stories coming out as well.
Is the public outrage that you were just mentioning, this black eye of sorts, is this signifying a change in Saudi? Because we haven't seen this 10 years ago. We're seeing a lot more now. Is the internet also helping with that?
The internet is helping so much right now. I mean, just today, there's a group called the Saudi Association for the Defense of Women's Rights. It was co-founded by a woman named Wajah al-Huwaidir, who's in the Eastern Province. They come out with a very strongly worded statement online condemning the actions of this judge and saying that it was just plain wrong. You don't typically see that in Saudi Arabia, where people are that bold. They're coming out, private citizens coming out and questioning, people of the judiciary. But a lot of people there that I talk to feel that this is the time. A lot of bloggers, a lot of rights activists feel that the more they get heard, the more there's going to be a tolerance. They feel that the king there is reform-minded, that he's going to allow this dialogue to take place, and that if there are abuses of the system, that maybe they can be remedied. And this is sort of a step in that direction.
And this is a step toward dialogue, no doubt, and you're helping us do just that. Mohammed Jamjoon from CNN International, thanks so much for that. You can read more about this story by heading over to cnn.com/world.